Right, what we have is a Panasonic cassette player. It's a vintage item that belonged to my dad. Panasonic model number RQ342. So it was working when I last used it, but I'm talking about good few years ago. Obviously, you know, with the situation with cassettes and all that. But what the symptom now is that you put new batteries in, there's movement there, but the sound was very weak to begin with, and eventually just completely gone. So what we're going to do is I'm going to strip it open, have a look and see if there is anything that I can physically do to try and sort of fix this unit basically. So let's whether it gets fixed or not doesn't matter. There's still, I'm going to keep hold on to it basically. It's not going to get chucked away. I'm hoping that there should be some sort of fault with the circuit, possibly blowing capacitors. If there's super capacitors, those could be blowing. Can't see super capacitors being in circuit with this thing unless the actual head is damaged. That something we'll try and establish after. Just need to be careful that I'm not ripping things out. Or is it going to come out this way? Yeah. Oh, right, okay. Grab myself. Let's just have a visual inspection of what's going on. See how quick it was, how easy it was to open up this thing, the whole thing. It's absolutely amazing. This is what I call Japanese engineering, basically. Right, okay. The reason why I can't release it completely from the thingy because it's latched to the... Right, well, I've got to be careful that I don't want any springs and this and that dropping out. So what I might end up doing is... I can go back in here. This is where I've got to be careful that there's loads of springs here. And I don't want to be sort of thinking it, but I could do with freeing my hand up basically by removing those two solder joints from the battery. What I'm going to do is I'm just trying to think what the way around is. Let's just take a picture of the actual terminals. So when I desolder, I don't put them the wrong way around. Hopefully not, but red goes on the top, black goes on the bottom. That's fine. Let's turn on the soldering station and just desolder those 2 points basically. So just give me 1 sec. Yeah, good. One of the sadly I'll be dismissing one of the retailers that I've been using basically for a while now, quite a few years now, just because they've recently started being a bit funny basically, in terms of work and the pricing and everything. Basically, just too fussy paying. So I've had a chat with them, and it looks like that'll be the end of dealing with them. End of the day, like I always say on my channel, time is valuable, right? Some people might think you've got endless time. Well, you don't, because that's when somebody's thinking like that, they're fucking stupid, absolute fucking stupid, or they don't want to acknowledge the fact that the value of a individual's time, basically. So, for example, let's talk about myself. They're not valuing that basically. They just want everything for nothing, basically. Well, it doesn't fucking work like that. So sorry, kids, if kids are watching them, my apologies, but you know, it's just one of those things. It's really, sometimes it becomes really frustrating. Well, you shouldn't be frustrated. You do it, you're self-employed, you're working for yourself, you're running a business for yourself. You know, there's a lot of elements of responsibility, a lot of work involved in doing what you're doing. But at the same time, if you've got some shops like this just trolling you 24/7, you know, just literally want everything for nothing, well, they can be on the way. No disrespect to them, but they can be on the way. Let's get this taken off. Okay, I need to make sure that I'm not ripping anything out of it, basically. So that's for the motor. Okay, so I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of this as well. It's a good idea to do that because sometimes because you don't fix these on a day in day out. Well, I don't. I meant to say I don't fix them day in day out. You can very easily sort of make a little mistake, and that's it. There's a screw here, which is keeping the PCB, and I'm hopeful that there'd be a blown capacitor somewhere. I'm just hopeful. Yes, there is. Oh yeah, fucking hell. Absolutely. There. That's bulged. I don't know if you can see that. Focus, you stupid thing. Focus. You can just about make it. That is bulged on the top here. It's this one. Okay. So let's desolder this. That's a tiny capacitor, so I might be struggling to sort of because I've got boxes and boxes full of capacitors basically. But yeah, I had a funny feeling that the way it was just behaving, that it's likely to be a blown capacitor somewhere basically. So again, it's a good idea to take the picture of the orientation of the capacitor because the on some PCBs it'll have a little marking, others you won't. So it is a good idea to sort of take those details down. Now, secondly, let me sort of get this extractor fan turned on. It's absolutely critical that you have a fume solder fume extractor. Okay, come on. Yay, hooray, that's out. That was easy. That's probably because, not probably, it's because leaded solder was used on during the I'm inhaling all the thing. Leaded solder was used during the process of manufacturing, basically. So that's that. Oh crikey! I will not have that capacitor. Absolutely no chance of me having that capacitor. It's a 4-volt, 470 microfarad. If you can, I don't know if you can see that. Focus, you daft thing. Probably thinking of investing on a 4K camcorder, but sorry, a webcam. But this business edition, you probably got the glimpse. You can just about make it. I'm sorry, but let me see if it fit. Oh, come on. So small that you can't sort of. Let's just see if you can see the value of the item. You can just about. Nah, this stupid Logitech camcorder webcam won't do the job, basically. Now, I don't think. Let me just check it with the ESR instrument. This is from Atlas, Peak Atlas, absolutely cracking device. So let's run a test on that. See what it says. It's a very small capacitor, so I'm not. I'll have to look on the internet and try and source. It's showing it's in thingy basically, but I'm not convinced that. Although that the ESR showing fine, it's coming up as well. I'm gonna say it. The ESR is showing fine, but the capacitance is very low. So this is 470 microfarad 4-volt capacitor. Look at the capacitance on it basically. So that's no good. That, although that the ESR is not sort of flagging up, because if the ESR is high, it'll just flag up, but the capacitance is low. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use an LCR meter and just confirm that. Again, these instruments are from Peak Atlas in Buxton, and I do highly rate these guys. They're very friendly. Okay, so this is actually designed for checking capacitors. This is again just as good as, well, the ESR is more advanced. It does a lot more advanced testing, but this will give you the value. Look at the value. It's 264.0, I should say, microfarad. It should be 470. So my guess is right. This needs replacing, and sadly, I don't think let's just turn that instrument off. I don't think I have a capacitor, so there we have it. I'm going to put this sort of back together, not fully, just partially, just so that I don't lose all the screws and bits and pieces basically when I come to sort of replacing the capacitor. But there will be a part 2 on this. So let's put this back together. I won't be connecting the battery terminal, so that's one thing I won't be doing. So okay, the head. Let's have a look at the head. Look, I'll tell you something. The mechanical side of these units are absolutely bulletproof, to my understanding, because these are Japanese engineering. These have been built to last. Sadly, capacitors is a part of time. You know, it's a wear and tear. It's a part of time thing, basically. Even decent capacitors want to have a shelf life, basically. So I'm not going to sort of penalise the making of this device. The people who have made this device. It's just not. Just quickly having a look at the head. Basically, it seems to be a bit dirty, but fine scratches. That's probably just part of wear and tear. That's okay. That's all cool. Yep. So yeah, as I said, I'm not going to moan about this. Just going to put this back together and wait for the parts. Once the parts here, I'll be dealing with it. So, and I will keep you guys in touch. Let's put this back together. Sadly, just bear with me. Sorry, people. Just had a phone call, or a couple of phone calls actually. So I've put the unit back together. Caps out. So this will be the culprit for the sound. And what I will do is I shall get this ordered probably from Farnell UK. I'm still going to have a nose around. I can't remember seeing these 4-volt capacitors anywhere on my collections, basically. Just can't see it. So okay. All right, we'll see. That's all, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. Have a great weekend. Stay well, stay safe, and just be humble and kind with people, and do value people's time. You know, as I said, as a workshop, I strongly urge you to sort of have policies in place. Yes, you do have that little bit of flexibility, but stop offering free estimates, right? Stop offering free estimates, right? Okay, because you're wasting your frigging time, right? So you know, the way, as I repeat, and I've said that many times, is have a diagnostic cost. If the customer decides to repair the unit, reimburse that diagnostic cost if you want to, or just keep it. Like Currys and PC World, you take something in, they'll charge you between 40 to 50 quid, including VAT, to have a look at it first. So you might tell them what the problem is, but they need to confirm that. And for them to confirm that, they've got to spend time doing that. So if they're charging 40, 50 quid for initial assessment, why can you not charge something? Whatever it is, 20 quid, 25, 30 quid, whatever it is, charge them. Because this is where they're valuing the time. Decent customers understands that. And any douchebag customers, you want to keep them off your list, because they're time wasters. They'll be wasting your time. And this is what a lot of these shops are doing. They're taking work on board. Oh, we'll get it checked out. We'll tell you what it is, and then the next thing you know is the work gets passed on to me. I'm checking it out, and they're sort of whinging and moaning about paying me for the diagnostic. Which is why, you know, the shop that I get personally involved with, friends and things, you look after them, but at the end of the day, they'll be making money. So they bring laptops in, I'm refurbishing the laptop, they're selling the laptop, they're making money. But and I'm moving from one subject to a kind of another subject, but they're not sort of rewarding me for my work. They're always whinging and moaning about, oh, this and that. So for that reason, I just thought, be on your way. That's it. I'm not dealing with you guys. If you want to be on your way and just settle the bill, then settle the bill and get going, basically. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather do nothing than just wasting my time and just getting stressed out. Because I'll tell you something about stress level. When somebody hits 40 plus, your body's no longer sort of on a sort of what's the word we use basically. It's not like a 20-year-old kid, 25, 30-year-old lad or a guy. You know, your body's on a decline, and any underlying health issues, they'll start appearing. So a very basic start would be hair losses. It's typical. Loss of eyesight, loss of hearing, loss of tooth. These are quite common issues as soon as you hit your peak, basically. Now, I'm not saying that people don't lose their teeth at the age of 20 and whatever. But what I'm saying is that this is kind of like a border, basically. Okay, there's more bad things likely to happen past your 40s than early 40s. So, coming back onto the stress level, you want to maintain your stress level. When I say maintain, as if like, just don't worry about things. I know it's easier said than done. The act of nature, nobody can stop the act of nature. Nobody can stop things happening. I know you've got to get up in the morning, go to work, pay your bills, you know, you've got to pay your mortgage, everything's at the end of the month coming up, so you've got to work. I understand that. You know, I've got to do the same thing. I'm not a born millionaire, right? I've got to pay for my bills as well. But taking all those factors in consideration, I would strongly recommend just chill out, relax, take your time. Don't stress, don't worry. Don't let others stress you. Just like a retailer was stressing me, basically, I just thought, we're drawing a line here. That's it. Because end of the day, I'm not sort of prepared to, you know, mess around with this and with that, basically. So it's just quite annoying, but it's one of those things, you know. Hey, shit happens. One thing I know for a fact that I'm not praising about myself, but I am good at what I do. You know, this is a job and a hobby, and I perform to the absolute best to ensure that anything that gets here, it goes back out in full working order. But they know that. These retailers that I've dealt with in the past, and some of them I'm still dealing with, they know that. They absolutely know that. Taking things to the other side of Greater Manchester won't help, because they'll you know, there was companies that I dealt with in the past many years ago. I used to outsource the work when it comes to board level repair, and you know what? On an average, it was about the board level repair was about 75 quid trade. Yeah, and the guy used to have 1,000 laptop on an average every week. There were 15, 16 staff technicians that were working on the upper level, basically. So you get an idea. If you average it out to £50 a laptop repair, so say operating system's about 30, 40 quid, and then your board level repair 75 quid. So you just average it out to about 50 quid. You multiply 50 times 1,000. That's you know, it's a big figure. That. Guess what happens? Because of their attitude and arrogance and big-headed, that they're making a lot of money, now they're down to one fucking man, and that's the boss himself, right? There's no component level job. They've sold. I've been around, and they've sold all the stuff in relation to the component level. Okay, all they're doing now is just selling stuff. So that's how they've jeopardized a fully working business, because they've had arrogance. They're not fixing things properly. They're partially fixing things, taking away. And I'm not just saying that then they're at fault. I'm also saying that the customers are douchebag as well. They're coming in with battered laptops, basically. So it's vice versa. So where I come into place where I sort of liaise with both of the issues and find a solution. It's finding a solution, and that's what I'm good at. Is finding a solution. But when it comes to finding a solution, I expect these retailers, these shops, to compensate me, and this is where the money comes in, right? And I'm not giving them big bills. You know, something that's easily affordable. It's not a stupid amount of money. But if they're still whinging about paying, then I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do for them. I appreciate, I wish them all the best, you know, but that's the end of. So, as I said, I keep on saying this, value your time. Please value your time, because nobody will. Hope you learned something. Take care, and I'll catch up with you next time. Have a great weekend. Peace.